Hi friends, welcome back. Today we are going to be refreshing our container gardens. If you've been around for a while, you know that we have made a shift from the big massive garden to containers, mostly Greenstalk. And there are a lot of amazing things about containers. They're easier to deal with, they are less weeding, and there's just a lot of great things. But one of the biggest mistakes I see gardeners making with their container gardens is that they don't necessarily feed their containers. And if you think of it in terms of a garden, you're planting a seed out in the open, right? The ecosystem of the garden, yes, you probably have to compost and do some things like that, but the garden is part of a larger ecosystem that's feeding the soil. When you take that and compact it and bring it into a container, there's a finite amount of food. And sometimes we don't always think about this. We will put our nice fresh dirt in the first year and the things will take off and be wonderful and beautiful, but really quickly, it doesn't take long for those containers to get nutrient depleted because the plants are pulling up all the nutrients. So we need to make sure that we are feeding our gardens. So what I'm going to walk you through today is I'm going to show you how I refresh my green stalks from year after year and give them the nutrients they need, and we'll talk about fertilizing along the way. If you want to know what we're planting, I will link that video down below. We are getting a really late start to the garden. In fact, it is July 1st today while we were planting all of these new things, and it's not too late. There's plenty of time in the garden season. So I want to encourage you, it is not too late, especially planting in containers makes it a lot easier. So let's go ahead. We're going to get started and I will show you how to refresh that garden. Okay, for mixing, I have one of these big Gorilla carts. This is just going to be ideal, and we are going to do one tier at a time. This is the easiest way to refresh. Now, if you are doing a whole green stalk and you're filling all the dirt, then mixing a bigger batch at a time is great. But for us, we're going to do this one tier at a time because, as you can see, there's already quite a bit of soil in here, and I don't want the soil to go to waste. I want to put what we need to put into it and mix in the new nutrients. You can do this easily in a tub, in a tote, anything. This just sits high above the ground, so I don't really have to bend over all the way to the ground to do it, so it makes it easy. So I'm going to take the dirt that's in here now. Now, what we use for filling our green stalks typically is Pro Mix, and you want to make sure that you use the potting mix because it has more nutrients and it's got perlite in it to absorb more water and retain more water, so it's better than just the garden soil for containers. You want to make sure you get a container appropriate soil. Okay, so that is what's in here. Now, this soil is probably 2 or 3 years old, so it is time for a refresh. So we're going to dump this into our bucket, and this is a leaf planter. This is one of the shallow ones, and as you can see, there are some roots and things in here. I'm actually going to leave this in the mix. This adds to the organic matter and it helps the soil absorbency and things. So I'm going to leave those roots. I pull out the tops of the plants, but I leave the roots. And I'm just going to take and break this up with my hands. You can use a shovel or something. It's really easy with your hands. Now let's talk about additives. Now my favorite fertilizer, this is the fertilizer that's recommended by Greenstalk, is the Garden Tone. It is organic fertilizer. I really prefer to feed my soil with the organic fertilizer. If you use chemical fertilizer, it can still work, but if you use too much chemical fertilizer over time, it can really deplete the soil. And what it does is, instead of feeding the soil, you are feeding the plant directly. And a lot of times it will cause the soil to die out. And that's just a recipe for disaster, especially in container gardening. And what I try to do instead is to feed the soil, so the soil has the nutrients and the microbiome to actually feed the plants. And I love this fertilizer. It's a slow release. It's not too strong. It's not going to burn the roots, and it will slow release over time. And this is a really great one to mix in right at the start of your season. This is called Garden Tone. And you're gonna use quite a lot of this. And actually, the funniest thing, so I buy all of my amendments and I stick them outside so it can use them when it's time. And I don't think anything of it because it's dirt, right? However, these bags of Garden Tone, I just stuck right next to my compost. And the next morning I woke up and they were torn to shreds. Something had eaten them. And I think probably it was our possum friend. But it makes sense because it's organic, so it's got blood meal and things like that they can smell in it. The scent is really strong. So kind of funny if you use organic fertilizer, something to watch out for. But we are gonna put 3 entire cups per tier of this Greenstalk. Now, another thing you want to watch out for when you are putting fertilizer in is to not necessarily use a super high nitrogen fertilizer. If you do use a really high nitrogen fertilizer, only at the beginning of the season. Because what the other big problem I see gardeners having is they will have these lush, beautiful looking green stalks or planters, but they don't ever produce fruit. And that's oftentimes caused because they have too much nitrogen. And the nitrogen does an amazing job of feeding the green, but then at the cost of the fruits. So we want to make sure we're feeding the whole plant. It's okay to give it a little nitrogen boost at the beginning of the season, but when you want it to start fruiting, pull back on that. The next thing that we're going to put into our mix is some compost. Okay, and you can use the compost you like. If you have compost at home, it's always great. It's always better. We don't happen to have a compost pile. Something I really, really want to start. We just haven't been able to, right? We are starting out from scratch and all the projects take a long time to get up and going. So we bought bagged compost this year and that is just okay. But since the bag comes in about 1 cubic foot, I want to use about 1/4 to 1/3 of that per tier. Now the other thing that I can add to this, and especially as the season goes on, we have these adorable bunnies, and these adorable bunnies make lots of poop. Bunny poop is gold for the garden because it is a cold fertilizer, so you don't have to compost it before it goes on. So throughout the season, as we have extra bunny poop, it is great to just put in here, and it's going to fertilize these really well. All right. Then I just take my hands and I mix this all together. And this is going to refresh your fertilizer. Now, if you have issues, like if you have let your soil be dormant enough that it is not retaining moisture at all, and it's dry and dehydrated, you can still do this and retain your soil. I would put some extra compost in it, and I would put perlite in it and maybe vermiculite on top, and that would help it to retain more moisture. You want to add more organic material, and you want to add some moisture holding compounds. So those things will help you be able to save some of that water resistant soil. All right, now that I have that all mixed up, I am going to fill this to the top. Now, it may not fill all the way to the top, and that's why I have extra bags of this Pro Mix, and we will fill the rest to the top with the Pro Mix. Now, another tip with these green stalks when you're filling them, to make sure that you're filling them all the way, you want to go ahead before you put the soil into the green stalk and saturate it really well, because wet soil tends to shift down, and once your soil gets wet, you'll be like, I only filled that container halfway. However, if you live in Oklahoma, you know that we have been drowning the past few months. We have gotten so much rain, which is thankful because this is the first time that I think none of Oklahoma right now is in a drought for the first time in years and years. So it has its good things. But man, it's been hard to do yard work. It's been hard to do anything. We've got weeds that are taller than us because we can't really get the tractor or anything out because it just sinks down into the muddy bog. We're gonna have to put skis on it or something. Anyway, so we've got this is already super hydrated soil, is the only reason I'm not wetting it right now. And but that is a good tip. If your soil is dry, go ahead and in this mixing phase and moisten it and get it really nice and damp so that it's heavy and it fills those cracks well. And that is it for soil prep. And if you'll notice, I did have enough, because I added amendments, I did have enough that this is full to the top. So I'm gonna set this on the ground and we're gonna start stacking them high. We have 6 Greenstalks, so it's gonna take us a little while, but that is the basic game plan. I had to dump a couple of my entire tiers of dirt out because they were full of ants and it was just gonna be impossible to save the soil. So I dumped that out, and so I will have to start from scratch on those, but most of these is just gonna be a quick refresher. All right, I guess start the super time lapse. Whew. All right, we have one whole Greenstalk up and going, and the sunlight is quickly leaving, so filming is going to be impossible coming up, but one is good. So a couple of questions I get about these Greenstalks, one of which is, we live in Oklahoma, and it is extremely windy, if you don't know, in Oklahoma. In fact, our county this year won an award for the most tornadoes in the entire US, so we were pretty excited about that. Not. So we get super lots of wind, and I have a lot of people that ask, how could these possibly withstand the wind? They're super tall. We can plant a ton in them, but if they fall over and destroy our crops, then what's the use? But we have had Greenstalks for, I want to say 3 or 4 years now. We've had winds come, flip over chicken coops, destroy everything. If you've watched for very long, you know Michaela's animals have just gotten a ride through the yard before because, oh, that was awful. But in all of that, the Greenstalks have never been blown over, shockingly. And I think part of it is that they are so heavy once you get water in them. And that is my one recommendation if you live in a super windy area. If there's a storm coming, just make sure they're fully watered. And it's super easy. If you've never had a Greenstalk before, you just put water in the top of it and it all trickles down. And then when you see it coming out the bottom, then you know it's fully saturated. The other thing to consider, we've talked about feeding them right at the very beginning of the season, but also throughout the season, especially in the hot months, especially when they're really putting forth effort to fruit and all the things, it is good to keep fertilizing them. Remember, we talked about you are making a trade. When you get a container garden, when you put things in a container, you are in charge of the ecosystem. The world at large is not. And so you have to develop a strong ecosystem in the dirt to feed and nourish your plants. And a really compelling book that I read that if you're interested in reading, if you're interested in soil, I highly recommend it. It is called What Your Food Ate, and I will link that below, but it really was one of those eye-opening books that talks about soil health and how it affects the food that we eat, whether it's grown in the soil or whether it eats the grass. And it was really one of those eye-opening, okay, we need to do things a little differently kind of books, but we want to feed the soil. So fertilizing throughout the season is a good thing. Easy, easy, easy in the Greenstalk. You can get liquid fish emulsion or something like that and just water it in with the Greenstalk every few weeks. And that really helps. And I know, so here's the thing, this is the trade-off, because that stuff costs money. And sometimes people balk and they're like, how can I ever do this? But you're trading, when you start a container garden, you're trading cost for ease, right? You can go, the cheapest possible thing is to go poke a seed in the ground and just keep it weeded and keep it weeded and keep it weeded. You're trading time, labor cost for a monetary cost to keep this fed. And really, when you factor in all of the cost of the whole thing, once you get it going, it's not that much cost over the season. So if that's super helpful. And there are ways to make your own fertilizers, and you can look at some of those things and learn some of those skills. The other thing I'll say about these Greenstalks, you do want to make sure that they're level. That's the other thing. If you want to put things underneath them to level them out, some people set them on like a ceramic tile or something, but making sure they're level and making sure they're not shaky, that also is going to help against the wind. This one right here is my 7-tier, so this is going to be for my bush beans, and they're going to grow beautifully in this. And I've got 5 more to go, and we will be growing in these. I hope that you got something out of this. I hope this was super helpful. Sometimes we don't always think about inputs in our soil, and to me it was eye-opening when I learned, oh, this really does make a massive difference in your harvest, because sometimes you can be sitting there scratching your head looking at other people's beautiful container gardens, and you're like, nah, I have this wimpy little plant. So hopefully this was helpful. If you got something out of it, give this video a thumbs up. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you can be notified of all of our new content. Y'all, as usual, have a wonderful day.